Other things we need to know, musicianship. Sir Hamilton Hardy asked his father. Sir Hamilton Hardy was an English composer at the early part of the 20th century. And he asked his father this question, who was a musician, what do I need to do to get a good musical education? The answer was so profound, I've always remembered it. Play and listen to as much music as possible. Wow. Now, for us band guys, and I am one, that means listen to some string quartets. That means listen to some vocal music. That means listen to orchestral music. And the standard is the best of the best, not the best of what you've heard last week. It's the best in the world. That's your standard. And that evolves. And understand how sounds from various countries, albeit that we're becoming less nationalistic because of recordings, but understand why. But develop musicianship so that when you hear a piece, you can understand its historical context. You can understand why the music is made and what you do. You know, there's nothing more beautiful than a well-sung aria. The flexibility, the pliability of the voice. Can we do that with the winds and brass? It's much more difficult, but that's the goal. Musicianship, develop musicianship, and think about those kinds of things. Think about music, not the medium. Time management. Here's the biggie. Time will expand or contract to the amount of time given a task. Basic management principle. If you're given 14 rehearsals for a concert, guess how many rehearsals you're going to need and use? 14. You're given 30 minutes, guess what you're going to use? 30 minutes, and guess what? The gig goes on. In time management, learn what we call the money notes. And you can apply this to a number of things. What's important? Do I spend a half an hour on one subtle attack, or the 14 wrong notes that are to follow? Well, there you go. I know what I'm going to do. Also, what's more important? I love to get in this argument with my vocal colleagues. A beautiful tone or playing together. Well, you can have a beautiful tone and not sing together, and it still sounds bad, except you got a bunch of bad musical tones. So most of what us folks do in time management is deal with rhythm and ensemble. We fix notes, but it's starting and stopping. Sometimes I've been called a number of things, but the one that I affectionately like is been called somewhat the Vince Lombardi of the business. I deal with fundamentals. You got to start the note, you got to stop the note and put it at the right place at the right time. You do that, you can make music. You don't do that, you're not going to win. So it's the fundamental things. Did you start? Did you stop? And work it, work it, work it, work it. Work it. So it's the fundamental things. That gives us a lot of opportunity to then do the things for making great art. Organizational skills. Oh boy, we could spend years at this one. This is cool stuff. You know, time management, quality process, organizational skills, facilitating. Oh man, that's good. Have a plan. Any plan is better than no plan. Any plan is better than no plan. No plan is no plan. At least if you have a plan and it's a bad plan, you know that it's a bad plan and you can get a good plan. But if you go into something and you don't know what it is that you need to repair, how much time that you have to do it, and by the way, I use the word repair, not fix. Go back to Hayakawa's hierarchy of words. Boy, we conductors can get ourselves in a real mess. No, fix it! Wrong! No, no! Do we ever use that? Guilty. How about going back and saying, let's repair that one, okay? Doesn't that give you a different context? It's more participatory instead of authoritarian. Another one that you know, you get more flies with honey than you do, I'll use the word vinegar. You know, it's nicer when People respond because they want to respond instead of they have to respond. So if there's something that's important, I would encourage you to invite you to participate instead of I'm going to make you do it right. Make you doing it right, it's not going to go very far. So have some fun with that one. But organizational skills. Do those 3 main points. What is it that I'm supposed to accomplish? How am I going to do it? Recap it and get it done. Go home. Lloyd Geisler, a name that I wished you would all know. He was the former principal trumpeter of the National Symphony Orchestra for 37 years and was their associate conductor for 14 years. John and I both reaped the rewards of his outstanding teaching with the trumpet players in our DC bands that studied with Lloyd. Lloyd was magnificent, just magnificent. I studied with him a lot. He said, he said, professional players, they want to come in and then go home for the lunch. Go home, you're done. So don't waste their time management, get it done. Now, remember when you start a rehearsal, you have a contract with your students. It's a contract. Because you're a teacher, it's not the contract for 9 months, it's a moral contract. That you're going to start on time, and that means you are going to end on time. Don't worry about that extra 1-2 notes that are just about the phrase. If the clock strikes, you stop. Because after a while, they'll get onto this. But the contract is you got to start with them. They got to start with you. And then when you stop, they stop, and they realize that you have respected their contract. So think about how that might affect how you will manage time and how you respect their time. Advocacy. We'll talk a little bit about advocacy. Know your 3 main points. Why do you want to be a musician? Why music? Why bands? Can't answer that question, we've got a problem. I'll talk a little bit about that on Friday evening, so I'm not going to waste your time and repeat it, but have your main points. Be an advocate. Know what it is that you're going to do. And mostly, have compassion. Do you know how hard it is to play an instrument? That's hard stuff. That's tough juju, isn't it? You know, we can do this all day long, go a little faster. Don't want to keep up until you got to play those 15,000 notes in between there. You know, in the first 3 minutes of Daphnis and Chloe, there's 62,000 notes. Did you know that? It's a lot of notes. It's a lot of notes. It's pretty. It's a lot of notes. So have a little compassion for those people that are out there making that music for you as we as conductors try to facilitate and work through. I'm going to use you again, Corey, if you don't mind. You're my target of opportunity. This is an intimidating situation. You know, to come as a new person to this organization or to any one of these professional organizations, you kind of go, I don't know this person, I don't know that person. I want to put myself out there in the best light. I want to learn, but I don't want to look stupid. Right? Has any of us ever been in that situation? Yeah, oh boy, guilty as charged. Don't want to look stupid. Or get electrocuted. One of the two. But a couple of things. If you need help, ask for it early. Right? Don't wait until contest is about to hit you and then ask for somebody to come in and give him your 15 minutes of juju and you're going to get a 1. It won't work. You got a problem? Address it early. Management principle number 1, find out where the problems are. Address them right now. General Colin Powell, you all know who he is? Great man, great American. So proud of him, so proud of what he represented and led our nation, our military, Secretary of State. If you haven't read his book, read his book. It's wonderful. Talks about one management principle that I want to share with you, which is real important, which I think is a current issue. If you have an issue, do not let it sit. Address it and get on with it, because if not, it will develop its own truth and its own set of legs. right? And how many of us have seen that in so many ways on the news and everything else? Well, you know, I really don't want to talk about that issue, and so I'm just going to let that one sit, and they're going to forget about it. Ain't going to happen. And then pretty soon, misinformation becomes truth. And when misinformation becomes truth, perception becomes truth, because perception is truth, then we have a problem. And that's a big deal. You're going to get fired over that one. You're not going to get fired because you missed the 5/8 bar, but you're going to get fired over that one. And too many of our folks in our profession, we have a crisis in our profession. We have a crisis, ladies and gentlemen. That crisis very simply is we have got people that are leaving our profession early because of burnout, no mentoring, and a number of things. And we have over 10,000 jobs right now in music education that we can fill. Right now, 10,000. Dr. Tim and I were just talking about, that's a lot of jobs, 10,000 jobs. Might not be where you want to teach, but they're there. And we have a crisis. These are the kinds of things that I think are important. Being able to survive, survival in a pit of snakes. Okay? Survive. Now, how do you learn to do that? Well, first thing is feed the sharks. When sharks are fat and full, they're not going to eat you. What does that mean? Gosh, Colonel Graham, what does that mean? Very simple. Tell your bosses, tell the people that are feeding your program what it is that they need to know, and let them know the problem up front and the solution. Now, it might not be the solution they choose, but at least you provided them the solution. You've made them participatory. So feed the sharks, because they will swim, and when you least expect it, you're going to get bitten. Have any of us ever had that problem? I have. You learn from it, you kind of go, wow, I don't think I want to go down that path one more time. But our crisis is very simple. Teachers are leaving our profession in droves, not just music teachers, teachers. Teachers. Why? A number of reasons. Burnout, expectations, long hours. You feel that you're not supported by your administration. By the word, I'm an administrator. I'm that dark side guy. And, but I've been that dark side guy because I was a commander for 28 years. And so administration is not new to me. Now, do you know what the root word for administer is? Minister. To minister. To take care of. Now, I wish that most of my colleagues and friends that were in administration would always keep that intact. But you are, in fact, an administrator also. You are administering. You're giving the gospel of music. And so you're administering up the chain and down the chain. I've never found really a bad administrator. Some I disagreed with. Some were not those that I'd want to go play tennis with since I don't play golf. Yes to all of the above. But if you really treat them fairly and go head on with them, at least you know what you're dealing with. It's when you don't talk. You have got to meet them halfway. You must. The reason that corporate structure people get more money than the guys doing the work is why? Because they're smarter? Not a chance. They're not smarter than the guys. Usually they're not the geeks. They're paid more because the decisions they make are made with less information and impact more people. That's why they get paid the bucks. They're further away from the action. Not because they're smarter, they're not, but because they have to make decisions that are going to impact investors, corporate board, and they're having to make that with less and less information. The higher you go on the food chain, the more you're behind shows. You know that one? That ladder, and you look up there and oh my God, you don't want to look at that. And you make decisions based on not a lot of information. So try to get as much data as you can to make your decisions.